Happy Wednesday. Welcome back to another watch list video. Another massive day for the markets. If I show you guys my relative strength list, it looks absolutely insane. There's so many names making monster moves, which I can't go over everything because I want to keep these videos as short as I can. But for those that are new, it's just a watch list video where I'm going over my ready list going into tomorrow's session. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Obviously, I've been starting off every video the same with this AAOI. I think this name looks amazing. You flip to a weekly chart, you get an inside week and super tight, just such a super tight range it's building right now. And we got another inside week forming, but you flip to the daily, super tight, like I said, big higher low spot, another area where you get an outside bar from the prior day and a huge spot for some higher low potential. So I think an inside day tomorrow would be beautiful, but I wouldn't be surprised to see this name break over today's high / out of this little pivot, and that's where I'll be super interested. But maybe a quick little morning washout into this little pivot, which it was great this morning, even over that level, as you can see. Super nice push this morning. It was up like, if you're trying to buy that close, it's already up almost 7%. So a little over half of an ATR. Not terrible, but I mean, it didn't push away from your average, so it probably would have been impossible to hold something like that. But either way, I think the chart still looks great. And like I said, an inside day tomorrow, I push back down into this pivot, undercut and rally of it, like a quick one, or falls down here, maybe some little weakness, and then a 620 setup as like an inside day inside this little range it's building would be beautiful. I think this is it for its higher lows, and I'm hoping that this outside bar today can be that higher low that I'm watching. So this name continues to look great. I don't think it's doing anything wrong. Yes, the market, as far as like the QQQ is continuing higher, and your SMH is continuing higher, kind of gap and crap today. And then XLK, obviously technology, same thing. Yes, I think these things are still pretty much getting into like a territory where they're a little bit extended, right? Over almost 9 ATRs from their 50. I think the QQQ is same thing, 8.5, and then your SMH is just over 7.5. But I don't think these things are doing anything wrong. I think like SMH, right, builds a nice flat pivot, maybe falls into that tomorrow even, and that's an area where it'll bounce. Semi names still look great, which I'll go over, but specifically speaking of AAOI, I think this name looks great. The optics group is awesome. You look at a VIAV, which is also on the list. Perfect day today. The undercut and rally was beautiful. Back above the 10 and 20. Inside day, right under this little flag it's been building after the earnings gap up. So it hasn't been the greatest range, but I love how you have some sort of a range. You get a shakeout and like the bottom of that range. Like for example, like if I mark like the low of that, like the pretty much low of the range, you get your shakeout, you come right back through it. And a super tight day today. So beautiful. Think it looks great. You look at a GLW, another optics name, also on my list, sitting right under that May 6th pivot. 3 days of just kind of chopping around, not on big volume. So I really like the day it had today. I think just a push above today's high / through the pivot could be a possible spot for this name to build a higher low. You look at a weekly chart. I think the weekly chart looks fine. VIAV, same thing. Like you look at a weekly chart. I think this weekly chart looks awesome. 3 weeks tight pretty much. This is like working on the 4th week. I think this whole group looks great, and I don't think I'm missing. CIEN is another one inside the optics. Kind of came into the pivot. Little weak today, but I mean, I don't think this name's doing anything too wrong. It's just in a monster trend. So maybe some continued digestion and something like this. But either way, this is a name I can see continue to push out. But I would say for me to buy something like this, I don't think I'd be buying it up here at this pivot area. But AOI on the other hand, like I said, looks great. AVGO, speaking of semiconductors, flat base breakout is what I'll be watching for this name. Just straight up through that April 23rd high / pretty much today's high would be interesting, just as a flat base breakout. This name's building higher lows right into the pivot. Tight day today, not an inside day, but definitely a tight day. Kind of had a little range here below the 20-day, which popped out of yesterday. I did buy it yesterday. Didn't have enough cushion going to the close. I was up like almost 6% at the highs yesterday, so I was feeling good. Then it came back at the end of the day. Is what it is. But another tight day today. Just want to see this name push out. It really reminds me, of course, of like your A-Lab, where you get the big move up, builds sideways, offers a higher low setup, and gets the flat base breakout or the higher low setup breakout. Beautiful. So super strong group. Continues to look great. Some can call this a laggard. It's possible, but I would just say it would be nice to see this name above this level and probably bad below it, I guess you could say, but it's not doing anything too wrong. So just a name I continue to watch. BE is a name I own, and actually a name I added to today. I think that was I talked about this yesterday actually. Came right into the support gap, pretty much the 20-day. I waited for it to bounce, which I'll show how perfect this name bounced. As you can see, comes right into the top of the support gap. I see this candle close. I'm adding to the position here. So I love to add on weakness and not adding to my stuff on strength, right? I'm trying to trim into strength and I'm trying to add to my positions on weakness. So I originally bought the undercut and rally. And then, the pullback here to the 20-day was just for me an ad spot. It's back under the pivot, right? Tries to break out after being up like 3 or 4 days in a row and then squats right back into it. Stops anybody that's trying to, maybe stops them out. But, anyone that's just trying to buy it up here on the top of the range, get a little shaky. But I like the pullback to 20. I think it looks great. I think this name still continues to look awesome for those that don't own it. I think just a breakout of the range could look awesome as well. It looks like this could be a spot for a higher low. So been a monster. It's a recent power earnings gap. So, you're building the range after the earnings gap. It's super big. Oh, BW. I think this is also another optics name, but this one was on yesterday's watch list. Did nothing wrong today. Didn't trigger, right? Didn't really get over yesterday's high. So didn't obviously take this one, but another really tight day, almost like a similar day where it's like AVGO, where it's just a tight red day, but it's not an inside day, but looks damn well close to one. But overall, just super tight action the last like week or two. I really like this right at that prior high. So like, it's almost like resistance turned support for now, but I would really like a push over today's high, which is practically the 10-day. So that would be super interesting. Another one where you look at the weekly chart, looks fine. Also another power earnings gap name. So this name continues to look awesome, and I'm pretty sure this is an optics name. So it's continued that theme or that group that looks really good. CRML. Okay, I debated adding these ones to the watch list because of how shit they've been acting, but this one specifically falls into the 200-day, gets a nice little bounce, puts in an inside day. Doesn't look too bad for a higher low. You got that super big gap up on news, on the Greenland news, like in April, in the middle of April. So we're still like building a range inside there. Not my favorite, but I want to keep an eye on these names because they'll set up quick and then they'll go. US or MP, another one where you flip to a weekly, you got a nice level that it's kind of that it built a higher low right under. So possible base being built here. Nice inside day. I would say just a push above today's high. I'd be super interested. CRML, like same thing, just a push above today's high, and I would be super interested in taking a name like this. But we'll have to see. USAR also in that group. Another one where it's got that left side peak right above it, kind of comes up into that area, rejects, and then puts in a tight day. I would like these names to build out a little bit more, but definitely going to keep these on watch. I don't think I'm like really want to own these ones too bad just yet, but definitely interesting charts and stuff I think everyone should keep an eye on. CoreWeave, this one was on yesterday's watch list with that tight inside day, but it wasn't anything I was freaking out about. It honestly looked like it wanted to continue lower, but you did get that. Now you get a hold of the 200-day. Maybe somebody bought this off the 200. I have no, another thing that I just don't really care too much about getting that perfect spot for the 200. I want to see like the party actually be there for me to actually take something like this. But you get the hold of the 200, nice hammer candle, perfect reversal spot for a higher low, right? You get your original low. And then another spot for like a chance for this thing to build higher low. So above today's high, I would definitely be interested in this name. You look at a weekly chart, and this is the same thing I talk about where it tries to break out after being up like 3 weeks in a row. You deal with some volatility, it squats right back into the base and a perfect spot here, and you get an inside week so far. So, I think this is another weekly chart that, the week just pretty much just started, but think it looks great. Above today's high, super interested in. DLCN, a name I tried to buy today right off the high volume close, which I have marked, and I'll show how I just saw this candle, saw it getting bought up, big wick. So I got long, it closed back above it as like almost like an undercut and rally. Really like that. Sat in this name all day, did nothing, cut at the close with, because no cushion, and it was close to breaking low of day. So either way, I'm not going to hold this name overnight because if it gaps down, it is what it is. Don't think it's doing anything to after hours, but this is a name where it's like you undercut that level like we kind of did here. We undercut it and then we bottom the next day and then push right back through it. Can we do that again this time, like a hold of the 20 and you see your original low? Can this be a spot where we build a higher low? It's possible. This name continues to be like, it's only 4.9 ATRs from its 50 now, practically 5, but it was pretty extended. So letting it like digest and go sideways while the 50-day catches up, I think is the best possible thing. So a name to watch for a higher low, 100%. And something, a huge leader recently, massive power earnings gap. I'm watching this high volume close area as a spot that for it to push above, and I'll take a position unless you get like some sort of washout down here, maybe as an undercut and rally of these lows. That'd be super interesting, or just an undercut and rally of the 20-day, just an area in general I'm paying attention to, but this name continues to look pretty fine. FLNC, highest volume in a year, big gap up. I don't know what the news was on this name. Kind of falls into the 200, gets a nice little higher low from the previous earnings gap up, right? You get your earnings gap up and then your highest, or sorry, you get your earnings gap up, sorry, and which was the highest volume, and then you get just like another monster gap up, and it's kind of consolidating, building right under this Friday May, building right under Friday's high, right? 2 tight days. I want to watch this name above today's high as like a higher low setup, right? You get your low, another low, and then could this be the higher low? It's very possible. I love the weekly chart on this name. It's an energy name. Don't know exactly what they do. I'm assuming maybe it's something like a BE, which let me just verify. Okay, maybe not. I'll have to do some more research, but I think the chart looks great on a name like this. GLW talked about, FLNC just above today's high. INFQ, I bought this one today right at the high volume close, which I'll show intraday. Perfect. You know, you see it hold there, and then right as we started to bounce, this is where I got long. Literally right as this candle closed, I started to buy. Stop at low day. I mean, you're talking about, 1.8% risk on a stock that moves almost 12% per day. I don't think it gets any better than that. So I was able to hold this one, had some nice cushion on it, so it was pretty nice for me. But this is a quantum name, I'm pretty sure. So flipping to like sorry, I have my quantum groups right here, right? You got Rigetti, which big few days, big 3 days, and then just falling right into the 200 2-day low volume. Shout out Judah. Could be one of those setups. I think this is a group to just watch. I don't know if I'd be so hesitant to trade this. QUBT, another one, 2-day low volume. Can it push back above the 200? I think today could be a good spot for a higher low going into tomorrow over today's high. Then you've got QBTS, which is back above the 200. Same thing, kind of 2 days low volume. Nice area for a higher low setup. I think continuing to watch these names could be nice because they've been showing lots of strength. I mean, and then you look at like the leader, in my opinion, IONQ. This thing's offered so many higher low setups, right? You get the hammer candle after a pullback and a big move, and then it just powers right through the prior day high, which gives a super tight spot for risk and awesome. And then same thing here, right? Even here, right? Comes into the 200, nice wick, and then it falls through the next day, right through the prior day high. Same thing here, nice right off the 200 day. And then falls right through. So this name's been super strong. I'd like some sideways on something like this, but I mean, it's just starting to trend. But either way, a nice little flag being built on a name like this would be great. But the rest of the group, super strong, that quantum group. So I think it's something to definitely keep an eye on. Intel, obviously your monster leader. You flip to a weekly chart and it's like huge move, right? It did build a nice base, but huge move. This is the first time it's actually trying to build sideways. And you get a tight day today. So I'm watching this name over Tuesday's high, practically over today's high as it's getting tight. But I would love continued digestion on this name because it is ATR from its 50. So it's still far from its 50 day. Maybe let the 50 catch up. But like I said, this is building to me a new base right now or some sort of new a flag or whatever. But I think it continues to look great. This group is the strongest group. I don't think they're done yet. I just think like some cool off in some of the names, like even like an AMD. Like this thing doesn't care. It just goes up every single day. But either way, like that doesn't mean I'm going to buy it. It just means I'm going to continue to watch these names for sideways. But I think Intel getting super tight could be interesting to push right back into new highs. LITE, I did get some of this one today right off the 50. Was really nice. I watched it bounce, watched it go sideways, got back above VWAP, and I got long this name with a 5% position. So I'd love to add to this name. I think this is, I don't even think I talked about this name as being optics name, but this is a part of that optics group. Looks phenomenal. I think this is one of my favorite charts. You look at a weekly, so tight under this April 6th pivot, and you get an inside week so far this week. So I think this name looks awesome. I think this whole optics group looks phenomenal, and the hold of the 50 today was amazing. If you were able to get this exactly off the 50, great job. Not easy stuff, but still think the chart looks great. MP I talked about. MXL, another name I bought today. Okay, I bought MXL, LITE. I tried DOCN, got stopped. And then I bought INFQ, and I think that's it. But MXL, dude, this name looks, I've studied lots of high tight flags, and this name meets it perfectly. It is extended. It is over 10 ATRs from its 50 day. If that's too much for you, then avoid it. But for me, I've seen high tight flags double from being 10 ATRs from their 50 day. So it doesn't really worry me that much. I had super tight risk on a name like this, and I can even show how I entered this name. I'm watching the morning washout. The second we get a push right through, and I'll throw on VWAP here. The second you get a push right above VWAP, which, yeah, there you go, right? So this candle right here, I'm getting long like right here at like 95, 96. So I had enough cushion to hold this. It acted pretty great compared to the rest of the semis. Like I showed, the SMH it didn't get hit terribly today, but it was down today after a nice gap up. So seeing a name like this have relative strength compared to the rest of the group is super nice, and just continues to act so amazing. High tight flag, looks great, but it is extended. So I wouldn't be surprised to see it fail. Maybe just want to continue going sideways for a little bit, but man, I think this name is ready, and I think it's ready to go way higher. So we'll see. NBIS, another name that looks awesome. Get some news in the after hours. Leopold's buying it. Boohoo. I do own this name from lower, but with such a small position, it's very unfortunate I haven't added to this name, and I haven't been like so dialed in on adding to this name. I bought it right here on this day as like an undercut rally of this super important level. I mean, this is probably the tightest risk I've ever had on a stock from buying it. Like, it was nothing, but I was able to get some on here with like I think I have like I originally bought it with like a 3% position. So that's doing extremely well now, but it's not really moving the portfolio too much, but it is nice to at least own it. I really want to own this name. If you look at like the after hours action, yeah, I think it's up like 12% after hours. But still kind of under that high. So still possibly building a range, definitely build a higher low. I just want to continue watching this name. Maybe it breaks out of this little pivot. Maybe you could buy it as a flat base breakout. I don't know, but it's a name. It's a leader that I continue to watch. Nvidia, one of your kings. You know, you flip to a weekly chart, big a weekly pivot, comes into it, finds support. It acted like shit all day, and then it, you know, gives a 620, rallies the whole rest of the day. If you bought this as a 620, great work. But I think today's candle looks great for a higher low setup, right? You get your pullback, higher low, get your second pullback, another high, like it's just, I think this name looks awesome. So I think over today, and sorry I have like so many different things marked, but over today's high, super interested in NVIDIA. SNDK, obviously your king of the market, one I'm continuing to watch for any sort of pullback, right? It's kind of like a little cup it's built on the right side of the V. Like a pull right back into this pivot would be interesting, but I wouldn't be surprised if this name absolutely takes off and I'm not able to buy it as like a pullback, but it is what it is. Like into the 20-day, I think would be awesome. It's just another higher low. This is a name where it's like it just made a higher high. If it gets some sort of pull, it's chance it'll make a higher low. I think this name eventually will blow off, but if I think all the optics stuff looks great and the technology and all the data centers, which all the data centers look amazing, WGMI Holdings, but they're not buyable to me up here. So can't really do much to them. Like NBIS even, it's hard to buy that one, but it's been such a leader. It's got to go on the list every day. SNDK, like if you think SNDK is going higher, or like if you're bullish on like stuff like WGMI and the data center names, then you got to think that SNDK is going higher because this name is the big monster leader. So like those names will be done most likely when this name's done. So they're not done yet, doesn't look like. So to me, this thing also does not look done. Looks like we're still on, but we'll see. Don't want to go packing on a bunch of exposure and stuff like this with no real setup, but name to continue watch for some pullbacks. USAR, I talked about, and VIAV, I talked about. There's so many groups that look good. I talked about Quantum. I also wanted to bring up SK Hynix, which in the after hours kind of had a little gap down, but just getting bought right back up. So it looks fine. Optics, I talked about. You even throw on a HIMX, right? Another one building a high tight flag that looks super interesting. Could even throw this on the list. Wolf is another one where you get a possible high tight flag, right? You definitely had a high tight flag for those that bought that. Kind of unfortunate action where it breaks out the flag and then comes back, stops you out today. It didn't really move too much from there, but I mean, if you were getting it down here, you should be trimming into that 10 ATR extension where it's up like 20+%. I think it looks great. I think MXL is the best looking name. Then you got names like MYRG, another name building a super nice flat base, which is in your like, I think PWR, Fix, and STRL group. So continue to look great, continue to act amazing. Another interesting little theme is ONDS with these drones. Super nice day today, had the highest volume ever like 2 weeks ago. UMAC is another drone name that has been acting so well. So continue to keep these names on watch. Super interesting. Another super interesting thing is, you know, USO cracking the 50-day today. You look at something like crude oil, loses the 50-day. Yes, it's sitting at a big support area. Not super interested too much in that. I think this one below would be more interesting, but wouldn't be surprised for a short-term bounce. Maybe markets cool off for a few days. I don't know. But either way, I'm not focusing on the QQQ and things like that. I'm just watching the setups. The setups are still coming. They're still working. And I'm going to continue to watch these leaders for pullbacks and their perfect setups that they build day after day. I'll catch you guys in the next one. This video has been way too long. I appreciate you for watching. Peace.